Is there like an iconic saying for the Twilight movies? Like, may the force be with you?
I know what you are. Say it out loud. Vampire.
What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm joined by my lovely lady friend Cam. We're going to be ranking all 5 Twilight movies from our least favorite to favorite. Cam had seen these movies way more than me. I had seen the first 3, and then parts of Breaking Dawn 1 and 2, but I finally watched through all of them.
I watch Twilight on like a monthly basis.
She's obsessed.
I'm not obsessed. Just enjoy it.
Definitely hit the like button. Comment your ranking of the movies down below. And make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future rankings, reviews, reactions, all that good stuff. So we're just going to take turns going through our ranking from 5, 5, 4, 4, all the way to number 1. You want to go first or should I?
You can go first.
So coming in last place for me, I don't know if this is a hot take among the Twilight community. I think it is, though, is Breaking Dawn Part 2. Breaking Dawn Part 2 is one of the more unnecessary movies to exist because this came out at a time where it felt necessary for final conclusions of like franchises to split into 2 parts. There was no need for this movie to exist. It should have just been one Breaking Dawn movie. The first hour and a half of this movie is fluff. Introduced to new characters, going around the globe. I honestly was bored and damn near confused at times. And then when we finally get to an epic showdown, there's no need for it to happen, as we see the whole thing is just a dream, or a vision of what would have happened had a showdown actually occurred. So it's all just a nonsense, nothing movie. It gives us the line, you imprinted on my daughter?
You imprinted on my daughter? She's a baby, Jacob. It's not like that with Nessie. Nessie? You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
You're pretty good at that impression.
Thank you.
It's just upsetting because I was actually pretty hyped going into it, but it's my least favorite.
I go back and forth between my lowest movie being Breaking Dawn Part 2 and New Moon. I'm going to put Breaking Dawn 2 at the bottom. It's just the lesser of the movies. CGI is bad. For the most up-to-date movie, the baby is just horrible to look at.
Oh, why the hell did they do that? I didn't mention that. Why did they go and make this decision to CGI a baby? It's the most unnecessary thing ever. Just because there's a detail written in the book, you don't need to make it CGI.
Well, it's because I think they did it because the baby ages throughout the movie, and they just wanted the baby to look a little bit like the person it was going to turn into in 30 minutes.
My number 4 is going to be New Moon. I really liked this movie growing up for whatever reason. It's because I was low-key Team Jacob as a child. I've matured, and I've since realized that Edward is the way to go.
Good
but
job.
I think that it's just cool to get more of a backstory on werewolves, and I think they're badass.
They're not even werewolves. Shapeshifters. They just shapeshift into werewolves. That's a thing.
I don't understand the Twilight canon, I guess. I'm so sorry to the fans out there.
Yeah, because it's like a whole thing, because werewolves only change on the new moon, but they can change whenever they want, so they're not werewolves, they're shapeshifters, but they just can only shapeshift into wolves.
New Moon takes Edward completely out of the movie. He's barely in it, and we stand Robert Pattinson, so I don't know why he wasn't in the movie. It's just a drag. It's nearly 2 hours and 15 minutes. The pacing is a massive issue, and I was so ready for this one to be over to get to Eclipse.
Robert Pattinson is the glue that holds Twilight together.
Is Twilight New Moon year 4 as well?
Yeah.
So coming in at number 3 for me is going to be Breaking Dawn Part 1. Now, I think this might be kind of low for some of you guys out there. This is significantly better than Part 2, and it actually delivers one of the most intense scenes in the entire, I almost said trilogy. I guess this would be 5 films.
It's a saga.
It's a saga,
Okay,
excuse
the Twilight
me.
Saga.
The Twilight Saga, you're right.
What scene are you talking about?
The birth of Renesmee, which is the weirdest name ever. But that is intense when he goes and like...
Don't ever say that ever again.
This movie gives fans what they've been waiting for as we get to see Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart.
Fuck.
I can only imagine seeing this as a 12-year-old with your father or mother in the theater.
It's what the first 3 movies were leading up to.
I'd call this the true climax of the Twilight Saga. Yeah. But yeah, I think Breaking Dawn Part 1 is just a trip of a movie. But my runner-up coming in at number 2 is going to be the original Twilight. This movie is so different from the rest because it just feels more like a high school coming-of-age movie, in my opinion. Less of a focus on the vampire mythology, less of a focus on wolves because they're not really introduced in this. It's more subdued, and it's more about this romance. Now, there is some vampire action in this, but we don't know as much of the lore, and they don't even do as much of a job of world building, in my opinion. There's like one scene where you find out about vampires. As the saga progresses, we get more about the lore of vampires and the Volturi and all that good stuff. I do like the movie quite a bit, though. It has a flair to it that the others don't. It's a movie I could watch again, and it's definitely higher quality than a lot of the sequels. I think we can both agree on that. When it comes down to it, my favorite is going to be Eclipse, and I'm going to say that because Cam wants to talk about her 1 and 2 simultaneously. Eclipse is my favorite. It was the one I was most engaged with. It has an epic third act. Bella, Jacob, and Edward are up in like a tent, and it's very cold in the mountains, which delivers kind of a cringe scene in my opinion. If we got naked, it'd keep us warmer. It's like, what the hell? But there's a really cool fight. There's a showdown. Edward kicks some ass. You'd love to see it. But I think this is the movie with the hella cringe kiss. Like, just really misreading
Jacob,
the room.
Kiss me.
Oh gosh. It makes me feel gross inside. I think the love triangle as well in this one is probably the strongest. It's like right before it's solidified, she's full on Edward, because there's still, I mean, she has that kiss with Jacob. There's a lot of moments where you don't know exactly where it's going to go, where it's going to end up.
Okay, my number 2 is Eclipse, and my number 1 is Twilight. And although sometimes I feel like Eclipse can move to number 1, nothing will ever beat Twilight. The first Twilight movie is in its own, dare I say, an almost perfect movie.
Wow.
Now, by that, I don't mean it's necessarily a good movie. It's one of those movies that when you watch, you just feel a certain way. The movie may not be good, but when you watch it, you feel a certain way that you don't get when you watch other movies.
Fair.
It's the same way I feel when I watch The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Twilight just has a look to it. It's blue. It's the blue version of Saw, as pretty much it says.
Oh, yeah.
Because Saw is very green. It's the same sort of thing as Saw, where the first movie in the franchise was an indie film, because Twilight was made before the franchise got really big.
I mean, the ending is literally them dancing. And then like, the one girl walks down the stairs.
Robert Pattinson sings in this movie.
Oh, yeah. I remember you pointed that out.
Never released on Spotify or anything, which makes me really upset, but you can find it on YouTube.
It's definitely accompanies a nice rainy day.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Every time it rains, I feel like watching Twilight.
But that's going to do it for our ranking of the Twilight Saga, all 5 movies from our least favorite to favorite. Definitely hit the like button, comment your ranking down below. Do you think we had controversial rankings? Let us know. Let's have a conversation about it in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Follow Cam on all her social medias and subscribe. They are linked down below. And make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. But until next time, we'll see you guys later. Oh, God.